Welcome back. I am incredibly excited to guide you through today's explainer because we're doing a completely objective, brutally honest 360-degree review of a massive player in the precious metals space, Texas Precious Metals. We're going to tear down the marketing jargon, look at the hard data, the reviews, the fees, and even a current lawsuit they're tangled up in. Oh, and right off the bat, if you're trying to figure all this out for yourself, we're actually offering a completely free Gold IRA guide down in the description below, so absolutely be sure to check that out.
But first, I want you to stop and ask yourself a very grounded question. Seriously, think about it for a second. Where is your retirement actually sitting right now? In an era of intense market volatility and just general economic uncertainty, we kind of get used to thinking of our investments as just glowing numbers on a screen. But when it comes to physical assets like gold and silver, the reality of exactly where and how they're stored changes the entire investment landscape. It is a completely different paradigm.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Meet Texas Precious Metals. 2. Products and Gold IRAs. 3. The Fortress, Vault Storage. 4. The Good and the Bad. 5. The Trademark Lawsuit. And 6. Is TPM right for you? Okay, let's dive into this.
Part 1. Meet Texas Precious Metals, a decade of Texan independence.
So Texas Precious Metals isn't some giant Wall Street conglomerate. They're actually based out of Shiner, Texas, and they proudly align themselves with those classic Texan values of independence, transparency, and resilience. And their history is pretty unique. The company originally started as a joint venture with Caspar Texas Traditions, which is a family business with roots tracing all the way back to 1898. The official Texas Precious Metals brand that we know today launched in May of 2011. Now fast forward to right now, and the company is going through a pretty major leadership transition. In June 2026, they named John Cady as their new president, bringing in decades of industrial and financial experience. Cady is said to completely take over the retail, e-commerce, and depository operations by January 2027. Meanwhile, CEO and co-founder Tarek Saab is shifting his focus way more toward long-term capital markets initiatives.
What's truly fascinating to me, though, is the sheer scale of their operation. Since that 2011 launch, they have facilitated transactions exceeding $3 billion. That's billion with a B. They've shipped over 42,000 orders across all 50 states, and they even snagged a spot on Inc. magazine's list as the 200th fastest-growing private company in America. So yeah, we're looking at a heavily established, high-volume dealer here.
Moving on to Part 2. Products and Gold IRAs. What are you actually buying? Okay, so what exactly are you buying from them? Well, TPM operates as a market maker for the major international mints. That basically means you can get your standard US, Canadian, Australian, and South African bullion. They've got gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, but they really stand out with their Texas Mint brand. Under that name, they produce completely exclusive, licensed, custom-minted products for organizations like Texas A&M University, the UFC, and even the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. It's a pretty cool niche. Now, the crucial point for a lot of you is how this translates into a gold IRA. A lot of investors want to roll their existing 401ks into physical metals, which, as you probably know, is a heavily regulated process. TPM demystifies this by partnering with established IRA custodians to make sure it's IRS compliant without hiding a bunch of extra setup fees. It's really just a straightforward 4-step process. You open a self-directed IRA, fund it via a rollover, purchase your IRS-approved bullion from TPM, and then those metals are shipped directly to a highly secure depository.
Which brings us nicely to Part 3, the Fortress, Vault Storage, also known as the Texas Bullion Depository.
Look, if you're buying physical assets, you definitely don't want your life savings sitting in a cardboard box somewhere. This brings us to TPM's absolute crown jewel, the Texas Bullion Depository, located right there in Shiner, Texas. And guys, this isn't just some heavily locked room. It is a Class 3 vault. To put that into perspective, it means high-security construction using massive amounts of reinforced concrete and steel. It's entirely off the grid, so low visibility, no exterior signage, and it's engineered to withstand extreme environmental threats, literally up to a Category 2 hurricane.
We are talking straight-up James Bond-level security here. The vault features biometric access controls, bullet-resistant doors, the works. It's monitored 24/7 by a specialized security team made up of commissioned police officers and ex-military personnel. On top of that, the entire facility is fully insured by Lloyd's of London, which covers the full replacement value of all holdings, and its alarm systems are tied directly into local law enforcement so they can respond instantaneously.
But honestly, perhaps the most absolutely crucial feature for investors is segregated storage. When you store metals here, your specific assets are individually sealed and stored entirely separate from other depositors' assets. There is zero commingling. So what you buy is exactly what sits on that specific shelf. You maintain total ownership, meaning you can literally request physical delivery of your exact metals at any time. They even offer international storage down in the Cayman Islands if you're looking to keep your assets offshore.
All right, let's get into part 4, the good and the bad, a brutally honest look.
Let's step out of the vault for a second and take a brutally honest look at the actual customer experience. Because look, no company's perfect, and we want to look at the objective feedback from real buyers. On the positive side, TPM boasts an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, plus incredibly high ratings on Amazon and Trustpilot. Customers absolutely love their transparent pricing model. The prices on their site update every 60 seconds based on the live global market, so there are no hidden checkout fees. Plus, they offer free shipping on orders over $1,000. However, the cons are very real too. Reviewers have pointed out a pretty steep $350 cancellation fee if you decide to back out of an order. And you could even be charged more if the market value of the metals happen to drop in the meantime. Some users also report occasional shipping delays during periods of extreme market volatility, which makes sense, but it's annoying. And lastly, if you live outside the US, you're kind of out of luck because they don't offer international shipping at all.
But I gotta say, there is one massive pro that repeatedly comes up in consumer reviews, and it's a real game changer. Zero sales pressure. TPM employs no commission-driven salespersons. None. You're not going to get bombarded by pushy account reps trying to upsell you into high-margin collectibles, which, as you might know, is a notorious, massive issue in the broader precious metals industry.
Part 5. The Trademark Lawsuit. Defending the Mint Mark.
Moving on from the customer reviews, we do need to address a very serious, ongoing legal reality. Texas Precious Metals is currently tangled up in a high-profile trademark lawsuit against a state agency, the Texas Bullion Depository. Just to give you a sense of the tension here, CEO Tarek Saab recently came out and stated, "We will not stand by while a state agency uses confusingly similar marks and misleading marketing to compete against us." See, TPM holds incontestable federal trademark registrations for its proprietary Texas-shaped mint mark, and they are literally suing the state agency for trademark infringement and counterfeiting.
And in a recent May 2026 federal court ruling, the judge actually denied TPM a preliminary injunction, but the details of the ruling are fascinating. The court explicitly found that the state's marketing of its products as coins is actually misleading to consumers. On top of that, the court rejected the state's attempt to just use sovereign immunity to get out of the lawsuit entirely, noting that the state waived that right by invoking federal jurisdiction. So while TPM didn't get that early injunction they wanted, their core trademark infringement claims remain fully alive and are proceeding to a full trial on the merits. We're reporting on this purely to give you the full picture of the ongoing legal status regarding their proprietary mint marks because it's a huge deal for their brand.
Finally, Part 6. Is TPM right for you? Let's weigh the alternatives. Bringing this all together, just how varied are your options out there? Well, if we look at some competitors, Birch Gold Group requires a $10,000 minimum investment with a $125 annual fee. Augusta Precious Metals, they demand a hefty $50,000 minimum deposit. Now, Goldco offers no minimum purchase, which gives some great flexibility for smaller investors, while American Hartford Gold charges around $75 a year for accounts under $100,000. Against all that, Texas Precious Metals really stands out for having no order minimums whatsoever, no hidden setup fees, and extremely competitive, tiered storage rates if you decide to use their incredibly secure Texas vault.
Which leaves us with this final, vital question for you to consider today. What matters most in your financial partner? Are you hunting for the absolute lowest fees out there? Do you require the ultimate hurricane-proof security of a Class 3 segregated vault? Or is the total transparency of live, minute-by-minute pricing the deciding factor for you? Take your time to carefully evaluate your own retirement strategy. And hey, remember, if you want to dig deeper into the actual mechanics of securing your wealth this way, go grab that free Gold IRA guide in the description below. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.